We're gonna get into the next part, into our closing training, persuasion training up here. And we're gonna talk about tonality. All right, we're gonna work on tonality, we're gonna do some drills for tonality. Before we start though, I just wanna get a couple shares. What's been like really, really good for you so far today? Is it someone you met, a conversation you had, something you heard? Just let's get a couple shares going. What's been really, really good for you so far today?
Yeah. CALB.
Yes.
Cost effective loss.
Yeah. It's, first of all, acronyms are just amazing, right? Because like if you asked me to memorize that stuff without an acronym, I'd have no idea how, but it's just like, oh, CALB. If you use that, whether it's on the fly, talking to a client, or you're like prepping before, it gets you focusing on all the right questions that will turn them, and basically, like I always use the chair example, but it will turn them, so they're on this chair, you want them to go here and buy this thing, it will just light the fucking chair on fire, so they have to do it. Like gets you focusing on all the right things to ask and say that will create that outcome you want. Cool, let's give them some love. 1, 2, 3, one more. What's been really good for you so far today, personally? Yeah.
For me, I guess it would be that Cherry's story that you were talking about.
Pause for a second. Do you guys see, like, do you remember that more than anything from the first half today? Why do you think that is? Because it was about who? It's about him. Dude, I'm telling you, that is like, it's a mind fuck. I got it in your head, didn't I? Yes. Yeah, I totally got it in your head. It's unbelievable. It's really, really insane. And here's the thing. All of you, like, you got to be a little bit creative here, but all of you should be able to create your own diagnostic thought experiments or tools or whatever with your own prospects and your own clients to put them through, right? It might be a quiz. You could literally just take the framework of Cherry Farms and then tweak it to match your market and your message and what you want them to believe in order to move the sale along. No reason. No one else does that stuff. Like literally, you will remember that for the rest of your life. Fuck, I seduced you. I seduced you. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I didn't mean to.
Picking up Cherry's equates to sex drive.
Sex drive. Yeah. Right? Eat those cherries, man. Get some shovels and eat some cherries. Okay. So what I call this is to me the deciding factor. What is it?
Deciding factor.
The deciding factor in persuasion and influence, and it is called tonality. Tonality. So let me hear from you. Why do you think tonality is important? Why does it matter?
Attention.
What is it? Attention. Yes. Why? How does tonality and attention interplay? How do they relate?
Because the more tonalities you have, the more interesting you are.
Yes. Everyone, please write that down. Okay. The more tonalities you use, the more interesting you are. People aren't interesting or not interesting. They either have interesting tonalities or they don't. It's the tonalities that make them interesting in the first place. Good. What else? Why does tonality matter? Why can't you just fucking speak monotone and not give a fuck? Yeah.
There's sub-communication. So like if you're needy, it could come across in your tonality.
Okay. So yeah, so tonality is a signal. It's a buying signal or it's a not buying signal. Right? You're signaling to them, remember we talked about how important being sharp is? Does that come across in your tonality? And you signal that? Totally. 100%. Why else?
Transfers emotions.
Yes, transfer of emotions. We can make people feel all kinds of things with our tonality. In my opinion, the best platform closer, stage pitchman, whatever you want to call it, in the world is a guy named Marshall Silver. Are you familiar with Marshall Silver? Raise your hand if you know Marshall Silver. Raise your hand if you've ever seen Marshall Silver live. Yes?
I have.
You have not? No one? Okay. He's going to be at HSS 2020. So yeah, you'll get to see him. That'll be cool. He is my Slack adjuster, as I've talked about before. This was my big breakthrough at the last mastermind I went to, is having a Slack adjuster for all your live events. So when I throw HSS, how much do you think it costs? What do you think my cost is? What's that?
30 grand.
30 grand. What do you think?
50.
Huh? 50? 100? Okay, it's about 120 grand. It's 120 grand at that event. So obviously we make our money, like I lose money on ticket sales. I charge peanuts. $97 a ticket is insane. Even though we say it's always $500 off at $97. It's just 97 bucks. But, you know, like at the last one, we sold like 1,200 tickets at 100 bucks a piece. How much money is that? That's nothing. That's $12,000. We sell upsells. Great, we make 30 grand. I lose a ton of money on ticket sales. Why do I do that? Because I make most of the money back on what? On, my offers, right? Yeah, like this, coaching programs or different stuff, right? So I make most of it, I make more than it back and it's profitable. It takes time for the profit to come in. But one, I don't do the event just for the profit. I do it because I love the in-person effect and it's just insane. But the other thing I realized is, what if at the tail end of these events, I put up a Slack adjuster, a guy who can close any cold audience and convert a high amount of them, and whatever he sells, we split his revenue 50-50. I get 50, he gets 50. So that way, even if, no matter what else happens at the event, if we're losing money or whatever, as I know is he's gonna be on at the end of the event, he'll cover the slack, right? He'll make up for any losses I may incur. So Marshall Silver, best closer in the world, just throw him on at the end. That's literally what we're gonna do. He's gonna do a great job, he's got like 2 hours, and then he'll sell. And a lot of people will buy because his shit is really good. He is one of the best hypnotists in the world. You study hypnosis, right? Right, he's like won awards as being like the hypnosis, I don't know who the fuck gives out awards for hypnosis, but apparently he's he's really, really good, right? But he'll sell a lot of that room, and then I'll get half, and he'll get half, right? So it's the Slack adjuster. Anyways, how the hell did we get there? We were talking about transfer of emotions, tonality, transfer. So Marshall Silver, in one of his canned pitches where he does every time, there's one part in it where so you guys understand, we said problem finder first, problem solver second, right? Problem finder, does that mean that if you're gonna find a problem, the minute you find it, you're probably gonna create some agitation in the other person? Because they're thinking about the problem, right? In that moment, you're gonna create some agitation, which is necessary. The same way in copy, we go problem, agitate. What do we do? Right, yeah, it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing, all the problem first, solution second. So one thing Marshall does, because he can't do it one-on-one, is he tells a story about when you were a child, and when you were younger, and how no one told you were gonna be great, and not enough people told you how smart you were and how brilliant you were. In fact, a lot of people looked at you, and they told you, you are a worthless piece of shit, and you will never amount to fucking anything. I wish you would have never been born. And then he goes on to this whole thing. What does that do to everyone in the audience? Does that agitate them? Was there a lot of emotion? Was there a transfer of emotion, as Derek pointed out, with tonality? Yeah, right? It's like their inner child is reawakened for a second and then gets scared or feels small because it reminds them, because guaranteed some adult yelled at them that way when they were younger. So he agitates it, he doesn't solve it. How does he solve it? Buys product. It's unbelievable. It's so powerful. He takes it to a new level though, because while he's on stage, his products that he's selling are over here, and there's nothing over there. So he says, no one ever told you, you are the greatest thing on earth and you deserve to have everything you want in life. Instead, they told you, you are a worthless piece of shit, and he does this. What is he doing when he does that?
Anchoring.
Yes, he is spatial anchoring. He's pointing at the product saying, you're the greatest thing ever, you need this, blah, blah, blah. And then he talks, he's the worst piece of shit ever. He points that way. Anytime he's agitating anything on stage, where do you think he stands? This side. Anything he's talking about, anything bigger or brighter or better or promises, where do you think he stands? He associates it right with the products. It's called spatial anchoring. It's really smart. Yeah, it's really smart, right? But it's tonality. It's that transfer of emotion. So good. What else? Why else does tonality matter? Why can't you just talk like a loser?
Pattern interrupt.
It's a pattern interrupt. Yeah, I'll put that with attention, right? If we're always changing our tonalities, that means we're always interrupting the other person's pattern. So we're always engaging their attention, right? like, who here has ever noticed that, like, maybe you're at an event with me, maybe even this one now, and the time is going by really, really fast, right? I remember, like, at Power Speaker at EIE, like, 6 hours passed, and I go, who here realizes 6 hours have passed? And everyone's like, what the fuck? I thought it was an hour. I thought it was 2 hours. Like, you guys realize before we broke for lunch, we went for 4.5 hours straight. Did it feel like 4.5 hours to you? No. I'm engaging your attention because my tonality is always doing what? What is it doing? It's always changing, right? It's always changing. I'm holding attention. So tonality is incredibly important. I'm going to give you a couple other reasons why. One, if you are boring with your tonality, no sales. Guaranteed, right? If you're boring with the tonality, no sales. Why? Does that mean your product isn't good? No. Your service isn't good? No. It means they didn't listen to anything you said. Why would they buy? They didn't hear anything you said. They weren't listening because you're fucking boring. Does this mean you need to be as emphatic or bombastic as me? Absolutely not. It just means that you need to be aware of your tonalities and you need to use them in interesting ways, right? Like, I don't recommend you try and model me. I have a very unique way of communicating. I think that's all very clear. But you just want to avoid being boring with your tonalities, all right? Avoid being boring. The other reasons why is like you can appear like you have no authority with your tonality. And frankly, some people in this room, when they talk, not all the time, but some of the time, they don't sound like an authority when they talk. And here's the problem. Are you or are you not always training yourself who you're becoming? Always. Always. Your personality is a muscle. It is a habit. You are always training it. So if there's times when you're like, oh, shit's on the line, now I got to get really good, and then, okay, I can relax more the rest of the day and I'll chill out. If you're spending 60% of your day being kind of lazy in your tonality, being kind of switched off, not being conscious, not being hyper present to the moment, not being mindful, I fucking hate that word. Conscious is better to me. But if you're being that way 60% of the time and only 40% of the time are you truly switched on and present, then which one are you training yourself to be more of? Off or on? Off. It's your default setting, off. So we need to like be on all the time. I say that to people and they're like, I don't want to fucking be on all the time. It sounds exhausting. You know what sounds really exhausting? Getting to the end of your life and realizing you didn't do shit. That sounds way more exhausting to me. It's just a different standard you are commanding yourself to play at. And every single person in this room has that ability, no question about it. No doubt about it. Okay? So, yeah, authority, boring. And then also, if like with certain tonalities in the way you talk, you can demonstrate that you have no know-how, which equals no sales. Right? Know-how, sharp, kind of the same thing. Right? You want to sound like an industry expert. So if we don't sound that way with our voice, I assure you, they're not buying. Right? It's just not going to happen. So tonality is super, super important. A couple other points about it. You just please write these down so you have them, so you'll put them in your document and you'll read them and you'll remember them over time. Number one is the KLT factor, right, related to this. And what I mean by that is people usually buy from people they KLT with. KLT is know, like, trust, right? First, people have to know who you are. And once they know who you are, they're going to decide, do I like this person? Do I not like this person? And if they like you, trust is usually a byproduct of likability. Right? Because trust is not logical, it's a feeling, right? We like someone. Typically, if you share the same values with someone, you will feel like you like them. That's what usually governs likability. There's a guy in Puerto Rico where I live, who I met, and everything on the outside looks like we should be good friends. We're about the same age, very successful guy, he's an investor, you know, like he does yoga, like we have a lot of things in common. Met him, hung out with him a few times. He even, like I went to his house, we had dinner there. I don't like him. I just don't fucking like him. For like 3 weeks, I'm like, why don't I like this guy? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, usually, I don't just, like, I'm not petty about this stuff. I'm certainly not jealous. Like, I was very curious. I could not figure out why I didn't like him. So I realized his values were completely different than mine. Here's what he does for 4 hours a day. He DMs girls on Instagram and tries to get them to fly into Puerto Rico. 4 hours a day. He cold DMs girls, and he says, like Instagram models, and he says like, hey, I saw you were in, like, let's say they took a picture in Florida, Miami. He goes, hey, I saw you were just in Miami. I'm in Puerto Rico. There's lots of great places you could shoot here. And I'll send him a couple pictures of like the pool where we live, which is like insanely beautiful. And I'll send him a couple pictures of that and be like, you should take some great shots here, right? Like you bring a friend, I'll fly you guys in. He literally does this all day long. He gets a lot of girls to fly in. It's unbelievable, right? A couple of you are like, it's a good strategy. Does that sound like something I would do with my time? Not a chance. Now I realize why I'm not like vibing with the guy. Our values are totally different, right? What is one of his highest values? Like what do you value? What's your priority there?
Service.
What is it?
Sex.
Sex. Yeah, but it's got to be deeper than that because there's a lot of girls in Puerto Rico you could have sex with. Why does it have to be those girls?
Validation.
Yes, female validation, 100%. And maybe more than female validation is male validation. If I fuck some random girl here, my buddies won't give me an attaboy and think I'm the man. But if I get to tell them I slept with this girl who has 800,000 followers, then they'll think I'm cool. His value is probably validation from other men. It's deep, right? Not my value. I told you my values. Number 1 value is mastery. Number 2, health. Number 3, contribution. Number 4, love and peacefulness. Number 5, organization, discipline. Number 6, rationality. Number 7, assertiveness. Number 8, playfulness. Those are my values. His and mine are not the same at all. We don't vibe. Okay? So understand this. People typically buy from people they KLT with, they know, like, trust with, but they never buy from people they don't KLT with, and that's the more important one. They don't buy from people they don't KLT with. Have anyone here ever bought something from someone you passionately disliked? No. Who here has ever bought something from someone you didn't really need, but you really liked them, so you wanted to help them out? All of us. People buy from people they know, like, and trust, usually, but they never buy from people they don't know, like, and trust. Do you think your ability to generate rapport with others might be really, really important when it comes to persuasion? Incredibly important, right? Incredibly important. And then the second thing I want to add here, all right, before we get into some tonalities, is this is not about selling on camera, right? We mentioned this briefly with Eric before, right? When we are closing or persuading people in person or on a phone or in a Zoom call, our tonality needs to be a little different. I'll demonstrate. Here is Jason Capital on camera. Yo, what's going on, man? So in this video, I'm gonna show you 3 things that you absolutely must install into your life. If you don't do these 3 things, you don't give a fuck about yourself, and I know that's not true. So let's jump into it right now. All right, that's Jason Capital on camera. Here's Jason Capital selling. What's going on, man?
How's it going?
Good, man. So is it cool if I ask you just a couple questions? I just want to learn like a little bit more about your specific situation right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, so why did you want to even come to this coaching program at Bora Bora in the first place?
Well, I'm trying to change my life, get the environmental exposure, and hang out with like-minded people.
Perfect. And what is it about hanging out with like-minded people that you feel is really, really valuable for you?
It shows me that basically success is possible. People my age are doing things that I could be doing, and there's no reason that I can't be successful as well. So.
How do you know, thank you for sharing that, by the way, how do you know that you're not successful yet then?
I guess I just don't feel like I am right now.
Okay, so if you had to pick like one thing going on in your life right now that lets you know, fuck, I'm not successful, what is that one thing?
I work a 9 to 5 that I just do not like.
What do you dislike most about your 9 to 5?
The work that I have to do, just coding, I'm a programmer. So staring at the computer all day long just sucks.
Did you do that this past week?
Yeah.
You were. So if someone were to bring you an opportunity where they were able to show you you would never have to go back to coding again, and they actually showed you like proof that that was real, is that something you would look at?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you guys see a different vibe there? What did you notice?
Conversation. It's calm.
It's very calm. It's very conversational. What else? Yeah.
This isn't really tonality, but when you were listening, you kind of leaned back. It wasn't like, so.
Yeah.
Facts. Yes. Yes. No, you're exactly right. Right. Also, did you notice that I was sitting the way he was sitting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can see the deep
It goes beyond that. You don't even know. Yeah, right. So there was that too, right? And when it came to the clothes, do you think the tonality would have changed? A little bit, not really. It would have been something like, so like let's look at it this way, right? Best case scenario is you quit your job 2 weeks from now, and you are living the life that you want. You are free. You are happy. You're doing work you actually enjoy. Your heart is full all the time. If you're watching a video of me, how many potential distractions are there around you? There's a lot. If someone's watching your video, how many potential distractions does that viewer have in that moment? What could they do instead of watch your video? They could go on Instagram. What else could they do?
Hundreds of other videos.
They could go hundreds of other videos on YouTube. Could they go on Facebook? Could they check their email? Could they turn on the TV? Could they check their text messages? Could they check their WhatsApp? Could they check their Snapchat? Could they check their Slack channel? Could they read a book? Probably not. But all the other things they could do. Could they go check the fridge or the pantry, see if it changed in the last 10 minutes? Yeah, they could do any of those things. Right? So there's a lot that has to be overcome when you're on camera. If I'm talking to him in person, is it polite for him to do any of those things while I'm talking? Social contract dictates he will at least stay there. He will pay attention. His mind may wander if I'm not doing the right tonality stuff, but he'll be there. Right? And same thing on a Zoom call. Phone call is a little harder, but most of the time you have their attention on a phone call too, especially if they booked it for you. If you're outbounding, it's a little different because they don't have any investment, but for the most part, they're going to be paying attention. So we don't need to be as crazy. We can be more calm. Right? We want to be more calm because that person seems like they're more in control. The person who's all over the place in person, you're like, I wouldn't trust that person because they can't even control themselves. Does that make sense? But that guy who's just very calm and centered with you, coming from calm waters, he's right there and he's certain, that's sharp. Okay? That's how you want to be. When you're closing people, like you want to be right there with them. Sharp at the edge, calm waters, certain, tonality's changing a little bit, using some of the buttons, but never leaning in. Okay? And then the last thing here I have to put here, especially with tonalities, is we must be non-reactive. Okay? Non-reactive. What does it mean to be non-reactive? How about this? No emotional outbursts. No emotional outbursts. Client or prospect says something you don't like, you never argue with them. You never fight them on it. You never go, what? And then try and prove them wrong. All right? It's like there's a bubble around you and everything they say is just absorbed by the bubble and you stay calm no matter what. And you can take it objectively and then you can work with it the way you need to. Does that make sense? Right? Non-reactive. One of the biggest differences between high status people and everyone else is high status people are non-reactive. They are grounded in their own reality. They're open to their mind being changed, but it's never an emotional thing. And you'll know you're being emotional if you're reacting if you start saying things and then you're saying it and you're like, why am I even saying this right now? Right? Like, where did this even come from? This wasn't part of my script. This wasn't part of my plan. Right? You're just responding to them in an emotional way. Okay? Because here's the thing. In life, there's two things we can control in communication with people. Interpretation and response. That's it. We can control the interpretation of what's happening right now or what they're saying or what they really mean. And then we can control how we're going to respond. Right? Interpretation is the evaluation. What does this mean? Right? What is this going to mean? Does this mean the client's interested or not interested? They're going to buy, they're not going to buy. I'm making headway here, I'm not making headway here. They're paying attention, they're not paying attention. They're interested, they're not interested. That is our interpretation. We get to control what it means. And then our response. And your response typically is based on your interpretation. If I interpret everything as this person is interested and they should invest in this product, but they have a lot of blocks. So I know they're going to put up hoops. I know they're going to put up objections. I know they're going to be kind of pulling back at certain points. And I know none of that has anything to do with their desire or the fact that they should invest in this. It's simply their own bullshit they have to work through, and I'm committed to working through it with them to make sure that they end up here on this chair instead of the chair that's on fire. If I'm coming from that frame, then everything they're doing, I'm just interpreting as, oh yeah, this is just that bullshit. That's fine. It's objective, it's non-reactive. I can play with it, I can reframe it, I can work with it, and then I can annihilate it. Does that make sense? Everyone kind of clear on that? Okay, good. So, all right, so two things I want to share with you real quick. A couple of them we already talked about. One thing, please write this down. People are not certain their tonalities are. People are not certain their tonalities are. How else would you know someone's certain if not by their tonality? If we know certainty sells more than anything else, and we tell people are certain by their tonality, then that's the whole game, right? This is really the whole game. People aren't certain, their tonalities are. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to stand up real quick. I want you to talk to a partner. And I want you to tell them what you had for lunch in an uncertain tonality, and then switch, and then we're going to do it again. So first, just tell the other person what you had for lunch in an uncertain tonality. Go. Now do it again, but this time say it in the most calm, certain tonality you can. Same thing. Try it now. Pause. So you do this thing at the end of your sentence where you kind of drown it out and you shake your head.
Oh, I do?
Yeah. So you did it. So you're something about like, so I said kind of like a side salad, you know. It was one of those.
Okay.
Not certain. What if instead you just said, and this is, you just said, yeah, so I had the side salad. Look at the difference between me saying, so I just finished with, you know, a side salad versus, so I finished with the side salad.
Okay, yeah.
Did they feel different to you?
Yeah.
It's subtle, huge difference. Try it again. Stop. You did. So your anchor is you do this. You go. I just had the side salad. Put your hands behind your back, and I'll say it to him.
I just had this side.
Did that feel different to you? Say it again.
Try it again. I just had this side salad today, so that was
And when he nodded his head, it made it seem like he wanted some kind of melody.
Yes, that's exactly right. Right. So it's So I had the side salad instead. What about you?
I had ate tuna for lunch.
Good. Was that a lot more interesting when you answered that question? Do you know why? One, your hands. Yeah, hands are more interesting. And two, you shared your preferences. I learned, like, when you share, I love ahi, so I had to get it. That's so vague. Everyone fucking loves ahi. Come on, you're not a real human if you don't like ahi. But when you were like, it was grilled to perfection. Sometimes restaurants, they do it too much. Sometimes they do it too little. This one just hit the spot perfectly. I literally feel like I'm talking about sex right now, but I promise it was ahi. Like that kind of thing. Right? Okay, something to think about. Yeah. All right, good. Let's get back to our seats. Let's come back. Okay, so what did you notice as you were doing that? What did you notice about the being uncertain versus certain within yourself? What did you notice? Sean.
Derek was really indecisive about what he had for lunch.
And then all of a sudden he knew exactly what he had after.
All of a sudden,
It's crazy.
Just remembered.
Yeah. Did you how did you feel when you were talking in uncertain tonalities?
I felt weird.
You felt weird? Who else felt weird?
Derp.
What's that?
Derp.
Like a derp state. Yeah, like a retard. Right? Yeah. And when you flipped it around, how did you feel when you were speaking certain? Better?
Sharp. Strong.
Sharper? Did you notice your state was actually better? Very important point everyone should understand. Your tonality is an anchor for your state. Anytime you are tired or not feeling sharp, talk really loud for 30 seconds consecutively. I mean, 30 seconds, talk loud, talk obnoxiously loud. Just say anything. Like there's oranges in a bucket, but I've never seen a bucket full of oranges. What would happen if I ate 10 oranges? Would I never get a cold, or would I just have holes in my mouth from all the fucking citrus? God damn, that's a lot of oranges, said no one ever. My state is higher now. Your voice is an anchor for your state because you have to put more energy to talk louder. It's a really good hack. It's a really, really good hack. So If you talk in a certain tonality, guess how you're going to start feeling? Certain. Certain. All right, this shit's easy. Once you know like the map of the body and how it connects to your emotional states and your like how your certain tonalities affect people on a persuasion level, it's easy. There's only like 20 things you got to know. I know that might sound like a lot. It's easy. All right, it really gets easy. So the wave pattern is one. The certainty tonality is another big one. Before I give the other tonalities though, what I really want to do is I want to show you guys how important matching and mirroring are when it comes to your tonality. All right, matching and mirroring when it comes to your tonality. Yeah, we'll do this right now. I was supposed to do this tomorrow. We'll do it right now. That's fine. So here's what we're going to do. Did you notice when we were talking over here that my volume and my tone was very similar to his?
Yes.
Yes. Eric, let's have a talk. You can stay seated. Yeah. Open right up. So if you could have any kind of gum in the world, what gum would you choose?
Peppermint.
Peppermint.
Yes.
Why?
My favorite flavor.
Is there like a certain brand you really like?
Extra.
Extra. So if you were selling someone that they had to have extra peppermint gum instead of that gross Orbit stuff, what would you tell them and how would you say it?
I have no idea, to be honest. I would say something like, I'm drawing
Imagine someone's outside
Sure.
and they have Orbit gum in here and they have peppermint here and they're looking at it and they're like, which one do I take? And you run to them because you can save them. What do you say?
I would ask them if they ever seen the How It Feels to Chew 5 Gum commercials. And then I would say, imagine that, but better, and that's what extra is like.
Do you think that would work?
I think they might laugh about it at first, but then I would say, no, seriously, like, extra is just so much better than Orbit because, and then I would just rattle off reasons.
Totally. Yeah, so when I was younger, my favorite type of gum was Orbit strawberry. You ever had that?
No.
Okay. It wasn't peppermint, it was Orbit strawberry. What I figured out was, if you ever had Airborne?
No, I have not.
You know what it is?
Yes.
So you guys ever had Airborne? Airborne? The strawberry flavor? Anyone had Airborne strawberry? Okay. Write it down, okay? Bucket list, okay? Strawberry Airborne. Like, I don't eat candy, but I will eat that. So strawberry Airborne, take 2 of them, and then you take 2 pieces of Orbit strawberry gum, and you take them together, your mouth becomes a carnival. It's amazing. Okay. All right, let's pause there because it's getting weird. All right. Give Eric some love. 1, 2, 3. Good. So as Eric's tone changed a little bit, my tone changed a little bit too. Did you guys notice that? Did you notice my body language is pretty similar to his? Yeah, here's the thing. Remember we said before, KLT? People will usually buy from people they KLT with. They will never, ever buy from people they don't KLT with. To buy from someone they don't feel no like, trust, or rapport with would be akin to a Hillary supporter voting for Trump. It will never happen, okay? So here's the thing. There's a lot of KLT triggers, but when we're closing and influencing in person, maybe the most important trigger outside of our tonality is our ability to generate rapport and stay in rapport with the other person. And I want to show you this. I want to show you how this works. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to partner up in just a second. And I want you guys to pick a topic that you disagree on. All right? So here's what we're going to do. Partner up first. Right now, everyone just point to your partner, figure out who you're going to be with. Okay, you two are together, you two are together. You guys need a partner. Ryan, can you help out?
Yeah.
Can you partner with Nick?
Sure.
Perfect. Okay, so Nick and Ryan, and then perfect, you two. Great. So, one of the partners, raise your hand real quick. Only one partner. So you guys just decide. Keep it up high so I can see. Perfect. So as you continue to have them raised, I'm going to assign you what your thing is going to be, your point of view. And you're going to be, you're going to be pro-Trump, 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 and pro-Trump. Okay? If your partner was pro-Trump, that means you are pro-Hillary. Okay, I know that might be hard for you. You're gonna be pro Hillary. You need to argue. If that doesn't work for you, then maybe you can be what's that? Bernie Sanders. You can be pro Bernie. How about this? You're gonna be Democrat. Okay, you're gonna be Democrat. You need to be stalwart and resolute in this. I know a lot of you guys are probably like, I love Trump. We need to do it for the exercise. Okay, everyone got it? Good. So here's what you're gonna do. You're going to have it out. You're gonna argue about this Trump versus Democrat thing. Okay? But your tone of voice has to stay in the exact same range as your partner's. Has to stay exactly the same. I don't care how much you guys are arguing. You're going to stay exactly the same. Everyone got it? All right, let's give it a shot. Stay seated. Stay seated. Give it a shot. This table. What did you notice?
Probably haven't watched enough American politics.
You what?
I haven't watched enough American politics to, be able
Got
to
you.
debate about it.
So you felt like you didn't have a lot of content.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you guys?
Felt very civil. And like no matter how
It's a good word.
strong like the disagreement was, like in terms of word choice, I don't even remember what you said, like that's absolutely ridiculous, whatever. But like when the tonality is calm, it's just like, oh okay, yeah, and then it's just like it doesn't rile up anything.
Yeah, you're in total control. Very cool. Let's give that some love. 1, 2, 3. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a very similar exercise, same neighbor, same partner, except this time you guys are going to agree on the same thing. And what you both agree is that taking care of your body and your health is vitally important. Just by a show of hands, who here already agrees that taking care of your body and health is vitally important? Good. Except as you both discuss how great this concept is and why you both agree with it, you cannot sound like them. Your tonality has to mismatch theirs. If they're talking quietly, you have to yell. If they're yelling, you have to talk quietly. Whatever it is. However they're talking, you cannot talk the same way as them. All right, let's give it a shot. It didn't feel natural at all.
Felt too robotic.
Okay, interesting. So you were even though you guys are agreeing on the same topic, you felt totally disconnected from him. Cool. All right, give that some love. 1, 2, 3. What else? Yeah.
The conversation spiraled out of control. I don't know what happened there. It was just, there was like a complete mismatch. It just spiraled out of control. We ended up talking about like Eritreans. Like I don't even know what that is. What's an Eritrean? I don't know.
So it went all over the place. How did you feel when he was talking so differently than you?
I felt like I couldn't match, the energy levels were off. I had to think about what I was going to say next.
So you weren't in rapport with him?
Yeah.
Did you feel annoyed?
I mean, in some ways, when I couldn't hear him, I had to get super close and, I even yelling in his face, yeah.
Yep. Annoyed, not in rapport. Good. Give that some love. 1, 2, 3. What else? What else did you notice?
Well, ours kept bouncing back and forth. Yeah. So it was like I would talk loud, and then he would be quiet, and then we would switch. So it felt like if it stayed like that, like I was talking loud and he was talking quiet the whole time, I felt like there would be more of a mismatch.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we kept flopping, it kind of felt like we were.
See, it was actually elevating the conversation though, because it kept getting a little weirder and weirder as the tonalities was changing. I don't know what you guys are experiencing, but
Yeah.
you're talking about Thanos and killing fat people.
Nice. Yeah, and okay, let's give Thanos some love real quick. 1, 2, 3. Because that movie, in my opinion, it never happened.
Oh man.
All right, yeah.
I'm still in shock.
It was so disappointing.
I went into a depression.
Yeah, in my world, Thanos killed everybody. That was the Avengers. Done. There was no end game. Thanos killed everyone. That was the end game. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. So, yeah, right. So you're mismatched, right? You guys were kind of cheating because you were mirroring each other. You would talk loud, even though he talked quiet. He would then match you back, or the vice versa.
Or I would feel louder.
And then you guys would keep elevating each other up. Yeah, that wasn't really the point, right? But for those of you who followed it correctly, right, who mismatched, Did you feel out of sync with the other person, yes or no? Yes. Even though you were agreeing, you felt like, even though you were agreeing, did it feel like you were disagreeing? Wow, what does that tell you? Matching and mirroring is incredibly important. When you are matching and mirroring someone's tonality and their body language, you can be in rapport with them even if you guys disagree on something as emotional as Trump versus Hillary. And when you guys are not in rapport, tones are all over the place, you're not in the same wavelength at all, even if you're agreeing on something vitally important to both of you, you will feel like you are completely out of sync with that person. Right? So what are the applications of understanding matching and mirroring in real life? And they're infinite. Right? What if you're talking to someone and you're closing them on the phone and they start yelling at you? What should you do? You need to yell. There is, understand how disjointed and disconnected you felt from the other person when their tone was different. And imagine now that you're the guy yelling on the phone and the other person is mismatching you. Is anything they say going to get through if they're talking in a different tone? You just experienced this. It's not. You're not going to get through unless you match them back. You have to yell at them and then they'll catch it and then maybe they'll come down and then you'll come down. Right? What if you're in a relationship or you're with a girl and she's freaking out about something and her voice is raising? What should you do?
Raise your voice.
Yeah, you should raise your voice. Are you going to match hers? Not exactly. You're not going to be high pitched. But if her volume goes up, your volume should go up. Remember we said non-reactive before? So how do you raise your voice without being reactive? You pause. So she's freaking out. You pause and you might say, hey, let's just sit down and have a quick conversation about this like adults. You might match for a second and then bring it back down, right? But if I just said, if this person's yelling and I'm just like, hey, why don't we just sit down and have a mature conversation about this? She's gonna get even angrier. So you have to match it first. Hey, let's just sit down for a second and let's just have a real conversation about this. Okay, big difference, right? You match it first. But anyone you're talking to, I don't care if it's a closing conversation, you're just networking, you're meeting someone at an event, doesn't matter. Matching and mirroring is incredibly important for building rapport. You guys could literally be disagreeing about something and you'll still be in rapport. It doesn't matter. The sub-communications always trump the communications, meaning the content, the words. The context always trumps the content, always. Okay? Here's what I want you to do now. Stand up real quick, and with the partner that you were talking with, I just want you to share real quick, what about the drill that we just did was most insightful for you? How is this going to help you? Anyone's seat's broken since we got here today? Your seat has worked for you all day today? Good. Who was it before who was like, I only had 3 things I was grateful for? Was it you?
Yeah.
I got a 4th. Your seat is supporting you all day.
Still here.
I'm grateful for that. How about could you be grateful for the person who actually put the time in to make the chair also?
Yes.
Fuck, look at your ass supported right now thanks to them. Let's give that person some love. 1, 2, 3. Hell yeah.